one day, because they need to try something and create a wicket out of it, because both the batters are looking comfortable right now, even though they have not scored too many runs. But so far, the Pacers have not troubled them much.
Yes, and we definitely know that someone like Ahan has also given them a good hand with the ball in hand. And maybe if he wants to continue with the spinner, can look at that aspect as well. And as we speak, a short pitch delivery that is placed nicely on the offside this time. And the fielder does well to just keep it down to that. Otherwise, it could have been a boundary. So he needs to bowl quite consistently here. He doesn't want to just relieve Nepal of the pressure that has been built. Let's see how it goes from here.
Well, Abrar, Ahan is a type of bowler who likes to bowl it very quick and flat, so the Nepal batters can actually use his pace and score some runs in here. I would have still liked to see someone like Akash Teja or Yuvan, who are much more conventional with their action and their bowling as well. But yes, you never know, if he can pick up a wicket in here, he might prove me wrong. But this is just what I feel.
So far, Suvam is yet to get off the mark, and a play and a miss on that occasion as well. I think they can be watchful for a few overs here at least, and maybe just see off that threat that is being inserted by the bowlers of Singapore here. And after that, perhaps from here, they can continue in their merry way. Right now, it is Nepal's lower middle order that has the task of balancing caution with courage, because time isn't the enemy, but pressure certainly is.
Yes, absolutely. I think the required run rate is not an issue. It's just that they have lost 5 wickets, which is the only concern right now. But again, a positive looking shot. But I think it's also very important that they try to at least rotate the strike, because too many dot deliveries can also get on their nerves. We have seen how batters crumple under pressure. So another quick delivery to end the over. It's 62 for 5. Well, Abrar is continuing with Vedansh. Surprised with that decision, or you feel it's okay?
I think I'll have to be honest, I'm a bit surprised with that decision, because Vedansh has done well with the ball in hand, definitely. But I think we were observing this, that the two batters have started to look like they have adjusted to the seamers. Vedansh Gupta, before this, has bowled 5 overs, has given away 18 runs and picked up a wicket. Kapish has bowled 6 overs, given away 18 and picked up 4. So definitely the seamers have done a good job, but it's just that they are still very young and it's very hot and humid out there, and the energy, the tank of a fast bowler can really start running out quite quickly once he's starting to exhaust himself. And then that similar sort of quality with the ball is difficult to be delivered. So that's really something that Rian Naik will have to be watchful. Maybe just give them a little bit of a break. You know that they're having a good day, but just try out your lead bowler Yuvan Pandey for a couple of overs, and in the process, if that doesn't work, that's still fine. You can still bring in your bowlers later, but that break is sometimes very important to be given to these young bowlers. So something we'll have to see if it works for Singapore or not. But I believe it was the right time to really call someone like Yuvan Pandey into the attack.
Yes, absolutely. I feel the same as well. And you can see, even from his body language, Vedant is just slowed down a bit, especially his run up. You can see that he's probably running out of gas. And yes, it's hot and humid and it will happen to the bowlers. And that's where I really have a lot of respect for Bipin Prasad Sharma, who took off Sushil Bahadur after bowling that first over, gave him that breather, and then we saw him coming back with fury and he took 3 wickets in no time. So that's something you need to work on. Again, you see the easy singles on offer. So the batters are batting very comfortably out there.
Yes, and with that single, exactly 50 runs are now needed for Nepal to come out victorious here. So definitely this is a crucial moment in the game, and you want to keep the run in check as well. And so far it looks like Vedant Gupta is slightly exhausted. At the start of the innings we saw him bowling some quick deliveries, but in this over so far he's just trying to get a consistent line and length and be done with his over. And that's really not something you want when it comes to picking up wickets, because the batters will be well aware of this and they might be just playing it in a watchful fashion. So let's see how Vedant Gupta finishes this over, but I think it is time to bring in a change and introduce Yuvan Pandey back in.
Last delivery coming up here. Oh, he beats the bat. A good delivery, good strong end to the over. It's 65 for 5.
I don't think Shubham has played too well out here. It's not the fact that he's played 13 deliveries and he is yet to get off the mark. Sometimes you can afford to take your time, but it's just the fashion at which he has played. On occasions we've seen him just mistime the ball and the ball not really having the power when it travelled to the fielder. And on other occasions we've seen him just missing the ball completely. So that's really something that Singapore will be watchful as well, and perhaps they'll be just telling themselves we have a chance when Shubham is on strike.
It's definitely, he has not looked convincing at all. So he could be the batter that Singapore will be targeting. And if they can strangle Choi on one side, so just keep Choi Thapa away from the strike and attack the other batter. Exactly like how the Nepal bowlers did to Rohan. I think that's something which can be done.
And quite interestingly, we see that Ahan is continuing. We know that the likes of Akash Teja is waiting, and also Yuvan Pandey. Yes, he's expensive. He's given away 13 runs in his first over, but that was a very different phase of play. Right now, Singapore is right on top, and they're creating a lot of pressure. And this might just be the perfect situation to bring in Yuvan. As you can see, a very loose delivery from Ahan on that occasion, and even the batter Shubham is able to put that one away. So definitely crucial runs here, important boundary, but I think it's a tactical mistake that we're seeing out here in the middle.
Absolutely. Yuvan Pandey came into ball when the premier batters who were in top form were batting. So he was bowling for Centurion, and this is almost into the tail, and I don't know why we have Nayak still opting not to bring them into the attack. It could be a costly lapse of judgment. Yeah, only time will say. Well, our statements might change if he can get a couple of wickets. That's how funny the game of cricket can be. But yeah, we are just talking about what's most sensible at this time.
Yes, and based on observation, we can definitely conclude the fact that Shubham and Choi Thapa have looked very comfortable against Ahan. And also, when Vedansh in that last over was coming into goal, he looked out of gas like you mentioned. So they're really looking comfortable against the two bowlers who are operating right now. And that is why we have to say that it's been a little too late. I think Yuvan Pandey could have been introduced a couple of overs earlier, but as we're speaking, I think He has gotten the ball in his hand and he is brought into the attack right now against the left-hander. And he can really fancy his chances against him. So far, Subham hasn't looked technically solid when it comes to facing spin.
And he got a boundary in the last over, but he has not looked convincing at all. Oh, that's in the air, and that might run away. Long chase here for the fielder. And poor fielding there. That will be a boundary. Unfortunate. Got the edge, but just went into the gap.
Yes, even though he has picked up a boundary, it's just in the fashion that he has done that. He played that cut shot and he was not definitely in full control of it. The ball was aerial, and I think if the point fielder was slightly placed finer, that would have gone straight to him. Nevertheless, it's a boundary for Shubham, and he's picked up a couple of them in quick succession here. Just have a look at that one. He's definitely not looking convincible against that spin of u16.
Yeah, very shaky start. But yes, he's hanging in there. Oh, look at that, good delivery, good spin away from the left-hander. That's exactly why he needed to be brought in probably a couple of overs earlier, because he bowls at a slower pace, so he allows the ball to have that drift and turn. Look at that once again, good bowling here.
Yes, I think he can pull back his length a little bit as well. He's bowling a touch fuller. If he just allows the ball to just be in the air for that extra bit of time, then maybe he can generate a bit more turn. On that last occasion, I think he drifted that one in. So he has those variations as well. So to face the last ball, we have the right-hander. And u16 has been quite good against right-handers as well. So he's in with the challenge, and he really needs to step up and pick up a wicket here for Singapore, bring them back into this game.
Delivery once again. Well, Abrar, what would you make from this chase? Well, Nepal just made things difficult for them, isn't it?
Yes, really, I cannot blame the openers. Parimarjan Yadav started off very well. After facing 9, he scored 13 and went back. And Prasida Jesse was also undone by a very good delivery. But it's just that middle order, Shivansh, Ronak and Subham, just the way they have gone out, it is looked like on occasions they have given a few soft dismissals. But we'll be in with that analysis. We are taking a short break due to the drinks break. So stay tuned for the analysis and we'll be back with the action.
Well, we are back live after a short drinks break. This is the UKM Oval, and it is the finals of the ACC Under 16 East Zone Cup. It's between Nepal, the defending champions, going against Singapore. Singapore earlier today won the toss, electing to bat first, and they scored 113 runs, losing all 10 wickets. And now we are witnessing the chase here. 76 for 5 Nepal. Singapore is putting up a fight. Wonderful match here. It's getting slightly overcasted here, slightly gloomy. That's cut away into the gap. Another poor delivery from Ahan, and that will run away to the boundary. Well, we have said it a couple of times that Ahan might not be the ideal bowler in a situation like this, and in a matter of couple of overs, he have conceded 2 boundaries already. Abrar.
Yes, definitely. We were wondering where is Yuvan Pandey and Akash Teja. So we have seen him continue from one end, but looks like the captain is happy to continue with Ahan, and he's really given away a few looseners. And this is why it is very costly, because not many is remaining. Only 34 runs now needed to win for Nepal here, and every boundaries can be very costly.
Absolutely, and we have seen 2 boundaries coming off the bat of Shubham Kanal, who has not looked very convincing. So with a batter who is struggling out there, and you are conceding boundaries against him, it's not a good ploy. We'll end the over. Yuvan Pandey will continue in here. 80 for 5 Nepal. They only need 34 runs to win this contest. They still have 5 wickets in hand. And we have 2 set batters out there. Joy Thapa batting on 7 of 16. And Shubham Kanal batting on 14 of 28. That's a good delivery once again.
He's attacking the stumps very frequently, as you can see, and that's one thing that I think was missing when it comes to the bowling of Ahan. So Joy Thapa is 7 of 18, and he's really withered the storm here. On that occasion, as you can see, that he was not in full control. This is the kind of mistakes that a specialist bowler can really induce.
He was deceived by the flight of the delivery, probably trying to play that inside out shot, but the turn coming into the right hander just took the leading edge. Fortunately for him, fell in no man's land. Oh, much quicker delivery. This is good change of pace, good bowling here from Yovan.
That he's allowing the ball to come to him. He's really letting the ball finish its turn, and then is rocking back onto the back foot and trying to guide that on the leg side. So solid technique on display here from Joy Thapa. With that, the 19th over is completed. It's 80 with a loss of 5.
finally change in bowling. It's Akash Teja, the leg spinner, coming into the attack. And I think this is a good change, probably a little too late for my liking. Straight to the fielder, better throw there, and things could have been interesting.
Yes, sometimes we look at the figures of a bowler and then we start to wonder if he's done a good job or not. That is when we see it outside the context of the game, when you're not watching it live. So right now, for example, we have two set batters in Shubham and Joy Thapa who faced a lot of deliveries, and now the leg spin of Akash Teja is introduced. So even if he has a poor spell with the ball in hand, it begs the question that was it the right time to bring him, or was the captain a few overs late for that call, especially with the fall of those 5 wickets in quick succession. So this is why we start to wonder when is the right time to bring in a particular bowler, at what stage, who is more efficient.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's very crucial, especially in a match where you have very low total to defend. You need to take your decisions very quickly. Look at that. Very good bowling. So he has been right on the money, but then it's just that in between they have leaked too many runs. Well, the on-field umpires, Mr. Samad and Mr. John, having a word with each other. Not sure what is the situation out there. Definitely, probably there was some words exchanged with the batter. Well, in a way, Abrar, I think it's also helping Singapore in a way that it's just bringing in that stoppage in the game where the batters can really have that lapse of concentration. We have seen so many breaks producing a wicket. Will that be the case again here?
Yes, and sometimes what can happen is whenever there's a break, the bowlers can also start feeling more aggressive and more confident with their skills. Because sometimes when the fielding side captain is not happy, he can just tell his bowlers, yes, you go after it, I'll be backing you up with more feel and all that. And maybe in that process, he can just find out a way to beat it. So oftentimes we've seen that whenever a break is in play, there's been lapses of concentration, and we'll be interested to see how this break really benefits Singapore or not. But there was some discussion definitely between the two umpires and the captain of Singapore, and looks like it will be play from here with Akash Teja to continue. He has two more deliveries remaining. He's bowling to Joy Thapa.
It's short and wide and cut away brilliantly through the offside. And there's protection out there in the deep. Another single. Well, Joy Thapa has looked very good. He's batting with a very slow pace, but so far he has looked very convincing. Very unlikely of Shubham Khanal, who has not looked very confident, bit shaky at times, but also got the boundaries under his belt. Oh, again, a leading edge, but just away from the fielder. That has been the story. He has been leaving dangerously out there.
Yes, and even by living dangerously, he's contributed 15 crucial runs. So that really tells us the story, doesn't it? That on occasions luck has favored him, and sometimes he's benefited by some outrageous bowling changes as well. On that last occasion, we saw that maybe the slip fielder was not alert to the situation and he was diving to the wrong side first and then decided to adjust. And that split second really gave Shubham the benefit out there. And even though this was a good over, but still no wickets for Singapore. And right now, really not much remaining in this chase for Singapore to work with. They definitely need to pick up wickets from somewhere if they want to be back in this game.
Absolutely, it was 58 for 5 at one stage, and now it's 83 for 5. So they have put on 25 runs. Yes, it came in 56 deliveries, slightly slow, but that's not going to hurt Nepal. The good thing that they have done is they have seen through the overs of the good bowlers. And Johan Pandey will continue in here. Another good delivery. No runs there. Flighted straight to the bowler. This good bowling, and he's really hurrying through his overs. Decent over so far. Oh, beautifully bowled once again. Again, that drift coming in and then just angling away from the left-hander. Shubham Khanal again beaten outside the off stump.
He's bowled with a lot of control, and even in this innings, we're seeing that he's a fascinating bowler when it comes to purchasing turn of the pitch. And so far, the control has been absolutely spot on there. And once again, we see that even though Shubham is leaving very dangerously, he's rotated the strike and somehow managed to save himself from getting out. And with just about 20 overs completed in the second innings of this final, Nepal find themselves at 89 runs right now, needing just over 30 to really win this game. And the man who's still holding on is Yuval Pandey. He's looking like he's posing a challenge there, and there's still plenty of tension out there in the air, but we'll have to wait and see if they're able to pick up wickets from somewhere. Looks like Joy Thapa and Shubham is doing exactly what is needed from them. And once again, trying to just give the batter that width so that a fall shot is attempted. We know that Shubham doesn't really play the best of cut shots there. On a couple of occasions, we've seen him play that shot aerially. But nevertheless, this partnership has brought the calm back to the chase after the earlier collapse. And they're guiding Nepal inch by inch towards the finish line here. At this moment, 25 runs needed, but Nepal is still not being able to breathe freely here because the bowlers Yuvan and Akash are just bowling very tidily and they're just not ready to give away anything at this point.
Well, I can say there's a lapse in concentration and poor captaincy at the same time, I would say, because the fielders are at the edge of the circle, especially when Shubham Khanal is batting. So it's offering him an easy signal every time he gets bat on ball. So that's something they need to learn. They need to know that which is the batter they should target for. We have seen Shubham Khanal not being very convincing. So if you allow an easy signal and allow them to rotate the strike, that's really going to take the game away from you because Joy Thapa is technically very solid and sound.
Yes, and I think it's been very intentional from Joy Thapa. He's scored 8 runs off 29 deliveries, but he knows exactly what he's doing. He definitely trusts his ability, and they don't really need much from here on. So that is why I think Joy Thapa has been slightly watchful. This time he's played that one on the leg side, that slightly shorter pitch delivery. But definitely Singapore still searching for that one breakthrough to just reignite some kind of hope. But the momentum now has gently started to look like it's back with Nepal again.
But Abrar, what a match here. Only 114 to win. I'm sure at the halfway stage, none of us thought that the Singaporean bowlers will come back this strong. They actually made things very difficult for Nepal at one moment. It was 58 for 5. And then now this wonderful partnership between Joy Thapa and Shubham Khanal bringing Nepal back into the game.
Yes, and definitely let's take a moment to acknowledge the brilliant spells that gave Singapore a real shot in this final. It was Kapesh who was simply outstanding, his 6 overs for 18 runs and 4 massive wickets. His double strike really flipped the match when Nepal looked to be in cruising control. Vedansh also backed him up quite beautifully, his 6 overs for 20 runs and 1 key wicket as well. So it was the fast bowlers who have picked up the 5 wickets among themselves. Since then, Nepal batters have absorbed the pressure really well. Both these batters have looked like they are comfortable against spin, and Shubham and Joy Thapa have rebuilt. They've definitely rotated smartly whenever it was required. They're helped by some unaware captaincy decisions. I think we are not too convinced with the way he's rotated his bowlers, and definitely Singapore had the moment. There was a golden phase in between, but now with that partnership just soaking up a little bit of pressure, they've weathered the storm, and now it looks like the finish line is within sight.
Absolutely, I think this partnership was crucial. And I think they've done a wonderful job not to concede a wicket, especially with how both the spinners are bowling. They're bowling a very good line and length with good consistency as well. But I think it was those 2-3 overs from Ahan that really took the game away from them, because they allowed the Delhi's batters to get back into the game. So end of 23 overs, it's 91 for 5. Only 23 runs required. Well, Nepal will be smelling victory here. They just need to keep their calm and hold on to their nerves, and they will be home carrying that cup of glory for the second time in consecutive years.
Yes, and right now the pitch seems to have settled under the sun. There's not much turn on offer, and the bounce has also been quite predictable. I think that has allowed the batters to play with soft hands, and they have rotated the strike as well on occasions. And as you can see, exactly that is something he has done throughout this innings. He was not in control of the ball that was going away, and Akash Teja was trying to exploit that for a very long time. This time, a sharp catch taken at wide of slip, and this time, Shubham Khanal has to go back. But this is some smart bowling that has been rewarded.
Well, probably it wasn't the best of deliveries, slightly short, and he cut it. And look at that catch. It was Yuvan Pandey who was impressed us with his bowling, and this time that sharp catch, he took an absolute screamer because that ball was travelling. Well, another twist in the tail. Wicket number 6 falls here for Nepal. They still need 23 runs. They have 4 wickets in hand. Can Singapore find a way back into this game?
I am quite convinced that it was intentional from the bowler. He was trying to bowl that away from the left-hander on a couple of occasions before that wicket as well. And I think he was persisting with that line and length because he knew that the batter does not cut too well. So if that's the case, that is very well done. I think he read the situation of the game to his advantage, and he's executed his plan to absolute perfection there.
Well, absolutely brings in the new batter, Sachin Bhatta. was impressive with the ball, and now he needs to play a crucial role here. He needs to support Choi Thapa. Oh, that's beautifully driven. Well, the intent is pretty clear, so he might be playing his shots as long as it's in his arc. And I think that's the way to go. You need to be positive. That's beautifully worked away on the onside. Smart batting here. Single to bring back Choi Thapa back on strike.
I think just a few runs. They can just somehow play out 5 to 7 runs here, and then maybe just eye to play 1 or 2 big shots with which they can well and truly come into this chase other than losing a wicket. And definitely that is something even Singapore will be aware. So the key here is to pick up the wicket of Choi Thapa somehow, and that can really bring Singapore in the game.
Well, ends a successful over there. So 24, it's 92 for 6.
At this point, definitely we have to accept the fact that it has been an absolute nail biter here at the UKM Oval. Definitely a final worthy of the occasion. What looked like a straightforward chase for Nepal has really turned into a very tense and edge of the seat kind of a thriller situation for them. Singapore, despite posting just 113, look at that, what a moment, and it is that man, it is u16 who picks up the wicket, and right now they are fully charged and on the top of the game. What a big moment in this game.
Well, they say that it's the big players that rise up to the big occasions, and it's u16 doing that job for Singapore. Look at that. Hit the top of the off stump, and Sachin Bhatta had no clue whatsoever with that delivery. That's the fall of the 7th wicket, and suddenly it's Singapore who goes into the tail of Nepal. Only 3 wickets remaining.
Can you really blame Sachin Bhatta for that? Absolute peach of a delivery from u16. Nothing really wrong with the defense, but that one just pitched on the off stump and then turned just enough to keep it. What a delivery. u16 really producing the magical delivery when it was needed, and he's picked up a moment in this game, and Singapore will definitely try to capitalize from here. 7 down really, and right now we can't tell who has the edge. What a final this is turning out to be. This is youth cricket at its absolute best. Intense, unpredictable, and impossible to look away from.
Yes, and it's also wonderful to watch. Oh, there's a big appeal, and he's gone! Oh, another wicket! And look at that! Jubilations here for Singapore as they get the 8th wicket. And now Nepal in deep, deep trouble.
This is why we were wondering why u16 is not being brought back into the attack. And Yuvan keeps things happening. Just 2 more wickets picked out of absolute nowhere. And with that, no hesitation once again. As you mentioned, jubilation definitely for Singapore. And they'll definitely want to keep the pressure on here, because here it seems like u16 is absolutely running away.
Well, it was the captain of Nepal, the guy who bowled a wonderful spell this time when his team needed him the most. He got out from the second delivery that he faced. And now Singapore just 2 good deliveries away from clinching on to one of the most famous victories we have seen in the under 16 format.
Can he pick up one more here? Yuvan Pandey, man with the golden arm, and somehow Abhay just tentatively plays that with that thickish outside edge, but not before a couple of runs completed. So just 2 wickets needed, and this is turning out to be a cliffhanger. Anything can happen, really. We don't know who's having the edge. 22 runs needed right now, and I don't have any more words to describe what is happening out there in the middle.
Oh!
He should have been taken. We are absolutely at the edge of the seat. Both of our reactions really say it all, doesn't it?
Well, that was in the end just a whisker away from that fielder. Shot mid-wicket. Oh, very close to the stumps once again. Well, Singapore, they're trying for everything.
This is a nail-biting finish. Tension is here at the UKM Oval, and the pressure is absolutely electric. Both these sides are looking at the victory margin from here on. Not too many runs remaining to be chased, and just 2 wickets hanging on for Nepal as well. So Singapore is also fancying their chances. Joy Thapa, 9 of 38. I don't know how he will go on from here, because at this point he's batting with the tail. Abhay Yadav has just walked out, 2 of 3. And right now it is the leg spin of Akash to continue. Maybe from somewhere they need to just pick up a couple of boundaries and pressure can shift. On the other hand, one more wicket, Singapore will be right back on the money. We don't really know what's going to happen here. So the craze, the tension is right up there.
Well, absolutely. We have seen the pendulum swinging both ways. And it's in the balance. 20 runs required and 2 wickets remaining. It can go anyway. Oh, beautifully bowled once again. And it's again that spin duo of Akash Teja and Yuvan who's done the trick. We have seen them doing the same in the semi-finals as well, where they pull off a wonderful win against Hong Kong China, who were one of the strongest sides in this tournament.
Yes, right now the crowd's breath held tight as each ball could really be the turning point. Singapore's bowlers are relentless, hunting that final breakthrough, while it looks like the Nepal tailenders battle with every ounce of grit and determination. It is Joy Thapa, very crucial now, and a misfield. They have tangled themselves and shouldn't really be the kind of mistakes they can afford at this point in the game. So crucial runs once again, and we'll be hoping that they haven't hurt themselves out there.
Misfeel, and just to make it worse, I hope he's not picked an injury in there. But yeah, these are key moments in the game. Only 20 runs required, and we see a misfield that causes an extra run. In fact, 2 extra runs there. How crucial will that be at the end of the game?
पानी पऱ्यो भने जो मेटलबाट नेपालले जितिहाल्छ पानी पनि यस्तो गरिएको छ ध्यानमा जोरले पानी पऱ्यो भने नेपालले म्याच जित्छ
And right now we are seeing Akash to continue. Once again, he's continuing with that flight. Just one more delivery remaining in the 26th. Nepal are really trembling on the brink at 95 for 8. Joy Thapa, the seasoned warrior, is battling hard with 10 of 43 right now. Every single run looks like is to be fought off. And once again, a good completion to the over from Akash Teja. 26 completed, it's 95 with a loss of 8. The target now is agonizingly close. We're just 19 runs away, but only 2 wickets left. This final has become a true fest of nerves and steel. The correct man into the attack this time, it is u16. Definitely the tail enders will find it very difficult to bat against him. And he gets a go at Abhay Yadav. Looks like Joy Thapa is trusting him to face the experienced u16 here. And as you can see, the ball is turning away into him and is having a lot of difficulty trying to negotiate it. So definitely the tension is palpable. Every ball is a cliffhanger. Every run could be the difference between triumph and a heartbreak. So definitely we'll have to see what goes on from here. Rare loosener, but of not too much of damage from u16 here. Eyes are wide, waiting for the moment that will decide the fate of this thrilling contest here at UKM Oval.
Well, it has been an absolute nail-biter. We are all at the edge of our seats, where we have seen some wonderful cricket from both the sides, especially when it comes to the bowling. First, we have seen the Nepal bowlers doing the job, and right now it's the fight back from the Singaporean bowlers. And they have bowled with a lot of heart. It's not easy, especially defending 114 runs in a 50 overs match, and to get the opposition 95 for 8. They have done the job, but they need to finish well. Oh, very close once again.
I'm definitely starting to feel that u16 definitely has the skill to beat the defense of Abhay Yadav. And this delivery, that is why, will be very crucial. Joy Thapa is the backbone of this fragile chase. Or not the best of delivery, really. Gave an opportunity for the batter to just survive. And Abhay Yadav is still at the crease with 9 deliveries rather. And he definitely carries the hopes of an entire team and nation on his young shoulders. 27 overs completed, still 95 with a loss of 8. Akash to continue. Flighted delivery this time. And the fans of Nepal will be relieved to see that it is Joy Thapa on strike. Joy Thapa somehow have to manage a few boundaries here in this over, especially because he doesn't want Abhay Yadav to stay on strike for too long. And an opportunity there that goes begging. For a moment, we really thought that Akash Teja will be able to pick up a wicket, and in the most unconvincing fashion, he picks up a boundary here. But very risky. Perhaps it is the prayers of the fans out there that keeps him alive at this stage. Should have really been taken, if you ask me. It was just there, and what has rubbed salt to the wound is the fact that that has gone all the way to the boundary.
Well, what a peach of a delivery there. He got the outside edge and he brought the slip in place, but just couldn't get it. Oh, what a shot here! That's a shot that will ease the pressure. It was right there in his slot, and he went over the infield, back to boundaries here.
We sense it that this over needed to produce some runs for Nepal, because it is not easy for someone like Abhay Yadav to go out there and face more deliveries. And we know that Joy Thapa has the correct technique and has the right mindset as well. This time he just capitalized with a beautiful looking shot down the ground. And let's see if Akash Teja can really produce a wicket here. Short and cut away nicely. This time a race is on, and that should be another boundary. Important runs, and what a moment in this game. Joy Thapa really out of absolutely nowhere. Look at the fans, absolutely delighted with that boundary. And this time he has picked up 3 crucial boundaries really out of nowhere. Smashed it just when it is needed.
Yes, what a time. 3 boundaries, back-to-back boundaries, hat-trick of boundaries here. Well, that will definitely change the equation once again in favor of Nepal. 107 for 8. Again, short delivery. This time it's just a single.
Yes, don't take your eyes off. Nepal fans, your prayers are definitely being answered here at the UKM Oval. Joy Thapa suddenly explodes into the action. He's been watchful for a very long time. He's stayed away from his natural instinct. And right now he's picked up 3 gorgeous looking boundaries. And just now, we don't have too many remaining. The target is 114. They are already on 108. What a crucial partnership this is turning out to be. We saw that the crowds have already erupted. The energy once again surges through the stadium as Nepal's hope blaze back into fire here.
Oh, beautiful delivery. That's a much better delivery. I wonder why Akash Teja was bowling it much flatter and towards the batter. Well, nevertheless, another over goes to an end. It's the end of the 28th over. It's 108 for 8. Only 6 runs required now.
Almost a chance at the non-strikers, and it is that man Yuvan Pandey who's back into the attack. Not much remaining, just 6 runs needed, and right now Yuvan Pandey will somehow just try to be the spoil sport when it comes to the hopes of these Nepal batters out there. A million dreams definitely here for Nepal to just win back-to-back like we mentioned before. Joy Thapa 23 of 51, right man to face Yuvan Pandey. But really, just really 2 more wickets. Not really much remaining. What an exciting moment in this game. Just waits onto that one, almost trying to run away with it. And I think it was the right call by the non-striker. Abhay Yadav doesn't really want to face Yuvan Pandey at this stage. Definitely has to be Joy Thapa, because he's the batter who's looked technically absolutely solid out there. This time down the leg side, and easy pickings really, and he will get a single in the 4th ball. So at this moment, Yuvan Pandey really has 2 more deliveries. I think he has to attack with all that he has if he wants to pick up a wicket here. All of the hopes of Nepal is definitely riding with Abhay Yadav and Joy Thapa here. What a partnership this is turning out to be. Abhay Yadav at the moment 2 of 10, but remains a very important innings nevertheless. And that is bowled down the leg side. He will go off strike with that. Easy pickings really. And definitely excellent running. This is crucial runs here. He definitely needed to get a couple of runs here. And because that will give Joy Thapa an opportunity to come back and face most of the deliveries in the next over. One more delivery here. Abhay Yadav will just want to survive this. Let's see if Nepal fans and the crowd support is with him. He goes after it, he goes big, he goes in the air, and we'll have to wait and see. Yes, it is. Look at the fanboys, they're running in. He's finished it off in style. It is Abhay Yadav with a maximum to seal the victory for Nepal here. What a moment. Look at the energy, look at that jubilation here.
जीतो जीतो
And look at them celebrating. Truly deserves every bit of it. There it was with that majestic 6 to seal the deal. Nepal finished this epic chase with a flourish, crossing the line in absolute style. From the almost the blink of defeat, they have come triumphed and they've become the champion. This final has definitely given us everything. We can see that the crowd has been here with us from the very start. The people have joined in huge number, and Nepal have really put in their heart and their soul into this final, and we've seen a lot of drama unfold, but eventually it was a spectacular finish. Amazing, amazing really. The crowd really erupts as Nepal lift this ACC Men's Under-16 East Zone Cup. They are celebrating a performance filled with resilience, passion and unforgettable moments. So with that in the chase, Nepal have